All nations, y'all all right? Welcome to Exhale. We just got done recovering or attempting to recover from our message called Fallen, where we learned the origin of Satan, wicked, evil, and all things demonic. We learned so much about how in God's love, He refuses for us to live fallen, but there is a fallen one who wants us to replicate His ideologies, His beliefs, and His iterations in the earth. And so I want to make sure y'all good because I'm coming with some more. In Mark's Gospel, the 16th chapter, Jesus is very clear that those that believed on Him, one of the features and one of the verifiers of their belief in Him would be that they would have a very, very, very deep, passionate hatred for hell. And in that, they would cast out devils. It's one of the signs in Mark 16 through 18. I believe that deliverance from evil, wickedness, bondage, that ties, that binds, is one of the missions of Jesus. The Bible says that for this cause was the Son of Man made manifest, that He might destroy the works of the devil. And one of the ways that we do that is we release people, we free them by the power of prayer, by the power of ministry, by the power of alternate words, to reverse the works of darkness, the agenda of darkness in every human life and in every human heart. Acts 10:38 says Jesus went about doing good, healing all that were oppressed of the devil. So deliverance is a fruit, a feature, and a function of all of those that have been loved well. You can't be loved well and not hate hell. The power or the potency of anything Lucifer has always done since he fell has been darkness. And in the Bible, darkness is synonymous with ignorance. It's synonymous with blindness, deafness. And I believe that teaching combats the darkness, pushes back the darkness, and rebukes the day of evil because it brings illumination, light, understanding, and insight. And God is light. And the Bible says in Him there is no darkness at all. So through teaching, through systematic teaching and line upon line, precept upon precept, it's not just the introduction of new information. And it's not just that hell doesn't want you to know it. It's growing you and maturing you, but it's also a warfare blow to the kingdoms of darkness when you begin to lay these precepts. And so darkness and ignorance is dangerous because it's the veil, it's the ploy, it's the way that all of humanity is brought into self-destructive behaviors through the power of what they don't know. Therefore, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. In general, human beings are prone to fall, which is why we are attached to one who is able to keep us from falling. Making a fall and living fall in are two different things. We can slip. David always said, my foot had almost slipped. And so slipping and falling is not a deliberate intention, but it's the automatic nature of all that is flesh, all that is clay. But living in a fallen nature means that you've succumbed and you've bought the bait, you've bitten the bait of Satan's ploy and agenda to make you live like him. And why live like him when you can live like the risen one? Falling and being a fallen person is not the same exact thing. When we fall, as we fall, heaven uses our falling as a matter of wisdom to continue to change us into the character of Jesus Christ. But when we fall in, we have no other choice but to live out the agenda of hell through our members, through our attitudes, our perspectives, and our being, our relationships. They are lived out that way. And so I believe that falling is not abnormal for any human. Living fallen is. Music has always been one of the symbiotic expressions of all things heaven and therefore all things creation. Music is in everything. It's in the wind. It's in the water. It's the native collaboration and partnership of sound working together to make the frequencies happen so that the human race responds. Dogs bark, cats meow, pigs oink. And all of that subsequently can be put to sound and vibrations that express the beauty, the splendor, the wonder of heaven. And it's too deep to just be science. It's the sound. It is the power of God to communicate. It's the power of God to communicate with all things creation through the weaponry of sound. So therefore, when you think about sound, you think about instruments, you think about music, what you need to think about is era. Nothing communicates evolution, be it in history, be it in a city, a time, an origin, a race. Music is the general communication sense of every race on the earth, every nation on the earth. And so we are joined by music, but we are also led by music. And music is also the way that the poet transcribes the events as it's happened. Rappers, artists, psalmists, minstrels, as they put pen to paper and they record music, we remember what was, but we also gain hope for what should be. It is very appropriate that anybody that feels a musical inclination that is submitted to the sovereign lordship of Jesus Christ, that they be aware that their monitoring of or management of sound needs to be stewarded in such a way that they realize that just like the pastor, the teacher, the evangelist, they have the ability to sway souls in any direction, light and or darkness. It's just done in such a way where music is the only technology that doesn't need your permission to invade your thoughts. It comes around and changes atmospheres and environments, and whether that's deep or not, atmosphere and environment is the platform by which every gift is expressed, all potential is expressed, destinies are announced through the right atmosphere and the right environment. And I'm not just saying that in a local church sense because we overuse those terms. Your life has an atmosphere, your life has an environment, your life carries a certain temperature that makes it comfortable for you to be you, for you to be courageous, brave, daring, bold, anything that makes you authentically yourself. And so I would caution any psalmist, minstrel, songwriter, poet, I would caution them to man that soul in such a way where their creativity is not at bay or at risk based upon chaos in the soul. What I've learned over my years of experience is that chaos in the soul always creates confusion in the music. And so when people are at chaos in their inner man, what they produce is not enough to either lead people to or away from anything. And so then it just becomes encouragement. And while there is a role for that and a place for that, there is something beyond encouragement, and it's called deliverance. I can be encouraged into the wrong things. And so the power of the lyric, the power of the poem, the power of the writing, the power of the pitch, the power of the singing and the sound, and all of that musical partnership brings heaven and earth together and destroys the communication barrier. I would say to any psalmist, minstrel, songwriter in this particular era, watch that soul so you're not seduced. Hey, this has been Exhale All Nations, and listen, I'm so excited about this message falling because God does not want you to fall or fail. It is not in your genetic makeup. It is not in your destiny. It's not even in your prophetic purpose. And so falling has been something that I have intended to craft and create to open men's eyes to see that there is an active, voracious, passionate war going on over your soul and your future. And out of that place, your success is somewhere incumbent in there. Keep joining us as we teach about the fallen nature of man, but the fallen nature of Lucifer, ultimately leading us to the resurrected Christ. All right, y'all all right? Exhale, deep breaths everywhere, and let's get ready for next week's edition.